I was a bad student. Low grades, didn't like study, didn't know how to study. For a long time, I thought the problem was me. Maybe I wasn't smart enough. Maybe I wasn't meant to learn. Then I met a teacher. Her name was Teacher Tuk. She didn't change a syllabus. She didn't use innovation. She didn't teach innovation. She did something much simpler. She saw me. The first time I solved a very small problem, she smiled and said, "Good job, Om." For most people, that's nothing. But for a kid who had never been praised before, that moment rewired my entire life. I didn't become smarter that day, but I became brave enough to try again. Years later, I studied engineering in the most prestigious university in Thailand, an MBA in Germany, and a doctorate in Switzerland. And I become someone who loved learning. So I built a YouTube channel to show the world one simple truth. Learning is fun. Teacher Tuk never saw that version of me. She passed away from cancer. But everything I become started from one sentence, from one teacher who chose to teach differently. We don't have an innovation problem. We have a learning design problem. Innovation starts when we stop teaching the way we were taught. Let me show you something. According to OECD's Teaching and Learning International Survey, across 48 countries, over 70% of classroom time is spent on teacher-led instruction. A 2023 study of 15,000 classrooms across Asia found that students speak, on average, less than 3 minutes per hour. And when we look at the assessment, UNESCO reports that in 80% of education systems worldwide, standardized tests that measure memories and recall remain a primary evaluation method. We call this education. But here's a strange part. The students who succeed in this system aren't necessarily who fit best. They're the ones who actually learn best. Research from MIT and Stanford shows that when we measure learning differently through projects, problem solving, and creative work, the students who rank highest change completely. The quiet kid who process slowly, in memory tests, bottom quartile, in deep listening tasks, top 15%. The creative kids who ask too many questions, disruptive in lectures, exceptional in open-ended problems. The kid who needs to move, distracted in traditional settings, breakthrough thinker when allowed to pace. So we're not teaching them wrong things. We're teaching them right things in a system that designed for one type of brain. And when the student doesn't fit, we asked, what's wrong with this kid? Nobody asks, what's wrong with the system? I did not fit. For years, I believed the story the system told me. You're not good at this. You're not belong here. Maybe try something easier. Then Teacher Tuk did something radical. She changed the question. Instead of asking, why can't you learn? She's asked, how do you learn? That question changed everything. Here's what she did. She noticed I had no confidence. So instead of forcing me to keep up, she let me go at my own pace. She noticed that I learned by doing. So she let me solve the problem by myself instead of just watching. So she noticed I understood things better when I taught them. So she paired me with younger students. See, none of this was in the curriculum. None of this was in her training. She just paid attention. What Teacher Tuk understand intuitively, neuroscience now confirms Harvard Project Zero has documented over 8 distinct learning profiles. Howard Gardner research on multiple intelligence shows that cognitive strengths vary dramatically across individuals. And yet, a 2024 analysis of curriculum standards across 92 countries found that 89% still access students using primary 1 or 2 intelligent types, linguistics, and logical mathematical. What Teacher Tuk understood was this: learning isn't one size fits all, but teaching often is. She didn't have fancy tools. She didn't have a progressive goals. She had something more powerful. She had the courage to teach each student differently. And now, let me tell you what we lose if we don't do this. We lose students, not because they dropped out, but because they stopped believing they can learn. A longitudinal study from the University of Virginia tracked 2,000 students from age 5 to age 15. At age 5, 98% of children score a highly creative range. And age 10, the number dropped to 30%. And age 15, only 12%. What happened? The researchers pointed one consistent factor: conformity in education. I've met engineers who think they are bad at writing, writers who think they are bad at math, artists who think that they're not smart. And when we dig deeper, we find the same story. They weren't good at something. A test score once confirmed it, the system once labeled them, and they believed it. But here's the truth. Most people aren't bad at learning. They just learned in a system that wasn't designed for them. And we still building that system. Right now, according to the World Bank, education system in the 127 countries use standardized testing as the primary accountability measure. The Global Education Monitoring Report found that in 2023, only 14% of national curriculum included personalized learning pathways. We say, we want innovation, but we are training students to conform. We say we want creativity, but we punish students who think differently. A McKinsey study of 15,000 found that 87% said creativity and problem solving were the most critical skills for the future workforce. Yet, those same skills are the least measured in our schools. We say we want next generation to solve the real world problems, but we're teaching them there's only one right answer. Teacher Tuk understood something we have forgotten. Education isn't about making students fit the system. It's about designing the system to fit the student. Teacher Tuk died so sudden. I never got to tell her what she meant to me. I never got to say, because of you, I'm not afraid to learn anymore. I never got to say, because of you, I become someone who believes he can grow. But here's what I think about now. She didn't need to see what I ended up. She just needed to see where I was. And that's what's enough. Because legacy isn't built on outcomes. It's built on moments. One sentence, one gesture, one student scene. That's how we change a life. And when we change a life, you not just change one person, you change everyone they touch. Every student I teach now carries a piece of Teacher Tuk. Every question I ask differently. Every student I see struggling and choose to stay with, that's her still teaching. The research from the University of Pennsylvania shows that students remember specific teachers decades later, not because they are what they taught, but because of how they made to feel. In the 50-year longitudinal study, adults were asked to name the most influential person in education. 92% named a specific teacher. And when asked why, the most common answer wasn't about curriculum or achievement. It was, they believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. That was Teacher Tuk. So here is my question for you. What if we stop designing education for efficiency and started designing for humanity? What if we stop asking, how do we teach faster? And start asking, how does the student learn best? What if we stop measuring success by test scores and start measuring by how many students still love learning when they leave? This isn't about technology. It's not about funding. It's not even about the policy. It's about this. Do we have the courage to teach differently? Because the students who don't fit the system aren't the problem. They're the proof that the system needs to change. And the teachers who see them, who change the question, who design the learning around the student, not the syllabus, they are the teachers who change the world. Finland redesigned the entire education system around this principle in the 1990s. They removed standardized testing from the most grade levels. They give teachers autonomy to teach differently. They measure success to student well-being, not just achievement. And today, they consistently rank among the top education system globally. But more importantly, 93% of the Finnish students report enjoying school. That's not a miracle. It's design. Teacher Tuk never see what teacher I become. But she saw the scared kid who thought he couldn't learn. And she chose to teach him differently. That's the innovation that we need. Not better tests, better questions, not smarter systems, more human ones. Innovation starts when we stop teaching the way we were taught and start learning the way our student learns. Thank you.